Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are navigating the crazy world of authorship. Whether you're just starting out or already established, we want to help you navigate the publishing world with confidence. My name is Larissa Sohan, and this channel is brought to you by Next Page Publishing. With the help of our industry partners, we bring you the insights on the most challenging yet most rewarding parts of being an authorpreneur, along with the actionable tips to help you move your brand and your business forward. Don't forget to download your free copy of our book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, by visiting nextpagepublishing.net/author your way. Let's meet our next guest. Hello and welcome back. My name is Larissa Sohan and I am your host and the CEO of Next Page Publishing, where we help entrepreneurs write books that can grow their business, change their lives, and impact their audiences and their future clients in ways that pretty much nothing else can do. And today I am here to stand on that pedestal with Dr. Gina Anderson. She is the CEO of Luma Brighter Learning, an award-winning learning company and a 2024 and 2023 recipient of the prestigious Inc. 5,000 Fastest Growing Companies Award. Wow, congratulations, that's exciting. Dr. Anderson routinely publishes new, measurable, science-based techniques specifically focused on learning in logistics and transportation to help companies improve their safety scores and uphold compliance. Dr. Anderson is the author of Thrive: How Learning Can Ignite a New Way Forward, and contributing author to the best-selling book Perspectives on Invisible Illnesses. Dr. Anderson holds a Doctor of Education in Instructional Systems Technology from Indiana University, where she also minored in learning science. Oh, you've done a lot. She has a passion for helping people learn. I would say so. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
You have such a diverse background, and sometimes people will look at all of that and be like, why is she an entrepreneur? Why isn't she fitting into the mold? But clearly you have found your voice in this role that you've taken. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so I was always curious, like at a really young age, about why some of my high school classmates couldn't do certain tasks. Like, why was it that there was someone who couldn't tie their shoe, or why did that person learn differently? So I've always been curious about our minds and our brains and how we learn. So I started my career as a special education teacher and kind of like grew on that passion of I can impact 30 people, but what if I learned more and I could understand how our brains worked and how we could use technology to enhance learning and what the impacts were on our brains specifically. So saw a need to really help in logistics and transportation, because you would be horrified if you saw how a lot of truck drivers were being trained. And in fact, many of them, I just met with one this morning who really focuses and struggles with ADHD and autism. And, there's a lot of diverse needs in the industry, and they're driving 80,000-pound vehicles. And so that's why I landed, and I'm currently serving the logistics industry, because there's such a need to help learn and think about trucking is everything we get, everything in our rooms, everything we eat, every aspect of everything in our environments come from a truck driver. So there is a real opportunity to help and move that industry forward.
That's amazing. And how have you leaned into your books and your background and kind of brought those, because your industry is needing a simpler, I'm gonna paraphrase, you tell me if I'm wrong, but it needs a simpler way of saying the more complicated aspects of what your education would have given you. And so you've found that bridge by the books and the papers and the offers that you create. How has it been bridging those two worlds together?
Yeah. So as an author, you really have to tune into the needs of your audience and what information are you going to provide that's going to serve that industry or that specific audience. And for me, I was going out and presenting about learning science to groups in the industry. And it was last April, I was in an audience, or I was speaking, and I asked, how many of you in this room feel like fours or fives, like feel good or feel happy? And only two or three people raised their hand. And I couldn't believe it. following that, I've had my podcast. I have a I Love Learning podcast, and I've had it now 2 years. I started it because I had truck drivers reaching out to me and telling me they were depressed. They were lonely in the vehicles, and the fleets really aren't serving mental health and physical health for a lot of them. It's really focused on safety. And so when I saw this need of like, here people are lonely, they're not happy, the drivers are depressed, I really wanted to write a book that I could just give away for free, really, when I go to these events, to help them move their minds forward and to really give them not only scientific proof that they're not alone in their journey and their struggles, but strategies on how to help them make them feel better and ultimately want to help them thrive and live a happy life. So, I went to the North Carolina Trucking Association meeting a month ago. I brought 165 books with me. I gave them away. And it's for me, it's not about, making money off my book, but it's about saving lives. And, people were hugging and crying. And, for me, if I can help one person move forward and feel better and wake up and see their purpose and passion for life and learning, then my book has served its purpose.
Yeah. And that's good karma, right? And I think we sometimes we undervalue what good karma can do for us because it does come back in the form of monetary riches if that's what our end goal is, right? Like you go and you give and you spread warmth and love and connection and community one way or another. If it's not from that room, it's coming back to us.
Absolutely. The reality is for me, giving to the industry, when you give, you get back so much more. People recognize that you're doing it for a real purpose and you're not doing it for the ends of the means of the money. And when your book or your writing serves a greater purpose, you're right. It does help you grow. And ultimately, it brings you business when you least even expect it. And so that's how, leveraging what you've written, when you give, you definitely get back.
Yeah, because I want to point out, your company won in 2023 and 24 the 5,000 fastest growing companies award. And you just told us you give away copies of your books. And so for some people that are listening, they're like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. But that is the power of give and receive.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit about the fastest growing companies, and there's a lot of energy that goes into growing our companies. And if we have that mindset of like, I got to sell 1,000 copies of my book, then I'll be successful. But really what you've done is you've built the systems around your book that enable you to give it away for free. And that helps you serve, like if we're heart-centered entrepreneurs, which you and I both are, it helps us serve on a deeper level and keep our energies in alignment with that growth, that abundance mindset this is free because it comes back to me in one form or another. And building a system around your book like that, where you can incorporate free into it and know without a doubt that it's coming back to you somehow. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like to kind of, I don't know if you went into the book knowing it was going to be free, like started writing it knowing that, or if that developed over time, but what's the mindset shift that you had to go through to be able to go, okay, this is paid, or this is actually something I'm going to give out for free?
Right. So for me, I never had the idea that this was going to be something I used for marketing. For me, when I saw the need in my industry, I figured that I would write the book and people would buy it. So I didn't go into it thinking like this was a strategy that I was going to use. But the reality is, when you have a company or maybe you're doing consulting, you're earning money and you're building material anyway. So for example, I just released this past week, I was on news in New Mexico and I released a free white paper. My company buys and pays for that marketing material. We create, information booklets for learning that people get for free at conferences. It's like any kind of material. So for me, I was thinking about that. Like I just spent a lot of money on these white papers. Now they're valuable and they're good, but they're not serving the same purpose as saving someone's life that really needs it with that book. I mean, I had somebody reach out to me and ask me for donations of the book for a thought mindfulness trucking event. And somebody came to them and said, thank goodness I had that book because it made me want to wake up tomorrow. And I think for me, giving that away and getting that back really opened up my eyes for the first time. Like, look, I'm spending money anyway for marketing material. So to give the book away is just another, investment of money that actually has maybe even a greater impact because it's saving somebody's life.
Mhm. And yeah, that triggers something in me too. We kind of have this belief inside of our company that a lot of people think the book is the legacy, but it isn't. It's what you do with it. And you are living that every single day. I mean, you could have written the book and said, I'm going to sell it and then never sold more than 100 copies. That's not really an embodiment of our legacy, but the way you're using it truly is.
I love that. I love that you do that too, because honestly, that is it, right? I mean, it's not the book isn't the means in the end. It's those authentic and meaningful connections that you can make, the small differences every day that make the lasting impact. But I think the idea of the book, when you write a book, for authors that are listening, the idea comes from your passion. I want to say your true self. So it has to come from a place of authenticity anyway. I feel for it to reach that level of quote unquote success, because really it's how you define success. And in my case, my true self is about love and learning. And I feel like it's meeting that purpose and passion.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I say it all the time to my potential clients, my existing clients, my podcast guests, right? It is define your own version of success. And that's a really great reason for why we don't use AI to write our books is because it's not authentic. It's not authentically you. It's an amalgamation of however many voices feed into AI, right? Which is all of them at this point. And I love that so much. I do want to ask you because you've gone through the whole process, and preface this, I didn't help her in any of this. I was not her publisher in this, and I really wish I was, but what was the publishing experience like for you? How did you go about it? What methods did you use?
Yeah. So for me, I personally researched self publishing, what I had to do to self publish. And at my company, I already have a copy editor. So I had an opportunity to work with, I'm a publishing author of Inc. 5000 magazine, and they had services there that you could use to publish a book. And I'm sure, they put marketing behind it and they help leverage that, just like a lot of services, but there's a cost associated with that. And so me, it's like to put that big investment into the cost, I was trying to find what could I do myself with the resources I already have access to. So for me, I have a copy editor on my staff that copy edits all of our marketing material. I have a director of art who she does all of our art at our company and does the layout for all of my materials. And I gave them both credit in the book for helping with the book. And I have a photographer, you mentioned my brand photos, who I asked if she could help me recreate what I wanted for the cover. So having control for me over my vision and my true self and the publication was very important to me, to put out something that truly came from my heart. So even the cover of the image, I thought I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to show vibrance. All of it came from a plan that I had and how I could execute it at the lowest rate, because I didn't go into it thinking I was going to market it and have like a huge marketing campaign behind it and make money off the book. Again, like my purpose of the book was to help people live, so I think for me, it's serving its purpose, and I didn't need to have a publisher, because if your goal is different, you may have I may have chosen to go with Inc. or find a publisher to actually publish my book to help me market it. But I didn't really see that as one of my goals. So that's why I use the resources I had access to make it a cost-effective project for me.
That's amazing because again, we define our own version of success. And once we have that clear version of success, we can start to fill in the dotted line to get us there, right? Using what we have available, using the time we have available. Like a lot of the people we work with, time is the biggest issue, right? And so they need the team. They need to know that somebody else is handling the logistics. They've got it. They've got the process. They're going to keep them on deadline. But you already had this infrastructure. And so that's really, really awesome. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break and then I want to come back and I want to talk about we kind of already alluded to this, but the doors that open when we have a book, and because you've had a unique approach to it's not sales, it's exposure, I guess I will call it for lack of a better word. I want to talk about some of the opportunities that have come up for you. Are you hoping 2025 will be the year you write your brand-centered book? Or maybe you have a business book that isn't doing what you want. No matter where you are on your entrepreneur journey, we have the secret to your success, and we're going to give it to you for free. In our new book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, we share with you the formula and tools to guarantee your business book is a success. Within the pages of Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, you will learn from the expertise of a nonfiction publisher and the real-life examples of authors who have seen incredible success using our proven strategies. We're also going to give you access to our workbook, where you can tangibly assess where in your business a book can make the biggest impact for you. This book and the companion workbook are specifically built to help entrepreneurs like you write and sell a book that converts readers into clients with the power of artful invitation and deliberate storytelling. At Next Page Publishing, we believe in helping you achieve massive returns on your investments. Your time, energy, skill, and experiences are valuable, and you deserve to create a tool that matches your worth. This book is our gift to you. Visit nextpagepublishing.net/authoryourway to access your free copy today. Okay, we are back with Dr. Gina Anderson, and she has been using her book, as you know, to give away a whole bunch of free copies when she's at events and when she's speaking. And now we know she donates a lot of copies to her book. So she's not even a speaker, she's just giving copies away because you fully believe that this book changes lives, and you've seen the evidence of that. Now, because the reward or the return on investment, whatever entrepreneur word you want to slap onto it, hasn't been coming back in royalties. How have you seen the return energetically come back to you?
Yeah. So one of my goals 2 years ago, and I actually have it taped on my desk, was I really saw a barrier to entry being a female in the male dominated industry of trucking to get out and speak and spread knowledge about learning science and why it's important to take a different approach to how we educate in trucking. And so I kept asking people, like, why is it that I'm not getting opportunities? And you think about this as an entrepreneur, like you think there's something out there holding you back when in fact it's really you. I have taped to my desk, don't wait, make your own audience. So for me, the book has really opened doors for me to go out and speak, because people who have received copies of my book, and it's not that I'm talking about building a mind of a champion or changing your mindset, although I have done that. I get to go out and speak on information processing, for example, or why we need to use individualized coaching to change behaviors in trucking. But it has opened doors, and I have specific evidence, not only from the book, but for publishing in general through ink and different means, that I went from zero back 2 years ago to this year. I mean, I already have significant number of speaking engagements. And in fact, like even 2 years ago, I don't even think I would have the opportunity to be on a podcast with you, and you're incredible, So I feel like when you're holding yourself back, when I go out and speak, what actually it happens is people go to our website and they want to learn more, and in turn it brings value to my company. So my speaking in my book is separate from my company, Luma Brighter Learning, but you see through the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies, and I'm pretty sure we're going to make it in 2025 too. And it's just a hunch, because people see that you're really trying to change and bring movement in an industry that hasn't had that or that needs it. And so again, I mean, it just opens up doors that you couldn't even imagine. So if you're waiting or thinking about, like, should I do it? You should.
Yeah, I think once we write a book, or once we even agree to write a book, whether we're agreeing with ourselves or we're agreeing with our publisher, it is really putting out to the world that I'm ready to play big, and I'm ready to put my mark on this industry in this niche and start valuing. And I think this is a lot of, as women, again, right? We undervalue our opinion or our facts or our knowledge in something, but writing it in a book, it's authority building for our audience, yes, but it's also for us. you're like, wait, I literally wrote the book on this topic.
Right. And I think you're exactly right. I mean, it does build confidence within. It also is validation for not holding yourself back. It's like, I did this. And also too, to your point, for me, building the book is almost like giving my own family, like my mom passed away, like I told you in November, and it just so happened the book was published on her birthday. And it's just like a memorial of goodness that you can present, and give confirmation back to yourself for goals that you had and that you continue to move forward. Because you're right, if you use AI to write, you're missing out on that creativity and meeting that need that you have within, which is that burning passion desire to create. And so, I talk about this as a learning science, like what happens to your brain when you don't create and create those words and those memories. But definitely, writing a book has opened those doors and does create that connection inside of you.
I think it's a gateway drug almost in a lot of ways. Do you see more books in your future now that you've done one and you are a contributing writer? Do you see more?
Yeah, probably. I think for me, it's finding the need of what people need to move forward in learning. And so I don't think there's an end to creation and what you do in terms of a writer. And so absolutely, I don't have a specific plan. Before I wrote Thrive, I actually wrote a chapter to share a story. And I would suggest this to authors. There are opportunities to be a contributing author and still be as powerful. I wrote a chapter on an invisible illness that I struggle with as a CEO female that people don't see. They see, oh, well, you have this company, you're very successful. But that's the thing. It opens up when you share your story, even if you're a contributing author, it can help connect us in ways that you could have never imagined when you're vulnerable and you are willing to do that. It took me, I don't, 16 years or even more. I mean, I never shared my story before that, and I did in that book. And since then, in that chapter, it opened up doors for me to write Thrive. And it also gave me the courage to connect with others who struggle with that, because the reality is people don't share what's going on. We don't know when we go out what people are struggling with. Writing opens the door for you to share your story. So I would suggest not holding back. Don't let yourself hold you back. I mean, share what you have to share, because it can open up all sorts of doors for you and for others.
Yeah, and it really goes back to the type of relationship we're trying to create with our readers, right? Like AI wasn't meant to be a topic in this conversation, but now it apparently is. But like if you're just trying to get butts in the seat and you've got a video program and a course that you run people through and you have no FaceTime with your audience, then yeah, sure, go ahead, write an AI book, disclose it as AI, go nuts. But like my clients and your clients, the people we work with, connection and community is like the foundation of what we do. And you can't write a book based on that. That's when you need your stories, your personality. I drive my editors nuts with the way I write, because I write like I speak in a lot of ways. I use just it just kills them. Every time I hand them a document, I'm like, sorry, but don't change it. Don't lose my voice, because that's who I want to work with. I'm not going to write a book and then you get on a call with me, you're like, wow, I did not expect that. That's not the goal, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, you have to put your story and your heart on those pages to build authentic connection, because that's what connects us. That's what is meaningful when we're in this world of disconnection and loneliness. This is what we have. These books and each other and our stories is what we have to connect us and create meaningful connections. And these connections are going to be just for life.
Yeah, and change, like again, when you're trying to change people's mindset, you're changing, the trucker mindset, the community sense. When I'm trying to show authors that they don't have to do this all alone, you can have a team, you get bigger results, right? Like your clients trust you more and you get to know them and know how to help specifically them. And it's just such a beautiful, I mean, connection over everything.
Absolutely. I just got off a call right before this with a client. He had my book on his desk and he told me when we got off that he loved me. And honestly, it's love. I mean, because when you write a book from your heart and you really want to help people, it comes from a place of love and they feel it because they feel it in your words that you write. And you don't have to do this alone. Like Larissa said, like people like Larissa out there that will help you. Like you can't, it's hard to do this alone. You need a team of people. It just so happens I have my team that helped me. But if I didn't, I wouldn't wait. I would reach out and get help because people who have done it, who can share this knowledge with you, can change your life and can change other people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. We have to wrap up because I think we could talk forever. But my final question, I have two questions. One is, what advice you've dropped all these advice pieces along the way. They're absolutely beautiful. But I'm going to ask you to summarize it. What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
Don't take a lot of time to get the words on paper. I got this advice and it really helped me finish the book because some people never finish, right? You start and you never finish. Spend 15 minutes a day. That's it. No more, no less. And just write for 15 minutes. Some days you'll feel like revved up if you've had a lot of coffee, right? And you want to keep going, but you stop. The 15 minutes, put your clock on, and that's it. When you don't spend 15 minutes to do it, you may never finish. And that's the thing. 15 minutes is not a long time. You think about when you sit at your computer and you look at your email, it could be 45 minutes and you're still going through email. So spend 15 minutes, start, and no thought is a bad thought. Just start writing. You can always go back and edit it or have someone else go back and edit it, but get started. Don't wait.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I'll layer on top of that a little bit because I love that advice is don't be afraid of trash days. And trash days for me are like when I write and I come back to it the next day and I'm like, wow, that's garbage. Don't be afraid of those because it meant that you cleared something, right? Something is out of your system. You understand it better. You can let it go, release it, delete it. I actually rarely delete content. I usually just move it to another doc because it's good somewhere else in my business. But don't be afraid of those, right? Put your ego down, let the trash flow, because on the other side of that trash is hopefully gold is waiting for you. I'm sure there's a leprechaun
Absolutely.
metaphor in there somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So, okay, how can people reach out to you? How can they find you? They can learn more about you and follow you.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me, Dr. Gina Anderson. I'm the CEO of Luma Brighter Learning. I have a website, learnwithgina.com. And yeah, I have a podcast. You can find me on Spotify or YouTube. I love learning. Reach out to me. I'm happy to share my journey as an author, as an entrepreneur, as a business leader. I'm happy to share that. So definitely reach out. Thank you for having me so much.
Absolutely. And we're going to put all those links down in the show notes so that you can connect with Gina in a lot of different ways and her team and find out what she's doing. Follow her, listen to her podcast. I'm so grateful that you took the time out of your day and it just everything that you're doing for leading the way in authors and how we can change the way publishing happens for us because we are different. I stand by that's the hill I'll die on. Entrepreneurs are different when it comes to publishing, and you are the exemplary example of that. Thanks for tuning in to I Wrote That. Don't forget to download your free copy of Author Your Way to kickstart your journey as an entrepreneur. You'll find the link in today's show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It helps more listeners like you discover the show. Until next time, happy writing.